Do you intuitively know that you need and want more gratitude in your marriage? Are you a bit skeptical as to why gratitude is that important? And do you fear that gratitude could lead to avoiding the real issues in your marriage? Join me and let's talk about why gratitude is so important and what it actually looks like in marriage. So, is gratitude really that big a deal? Is it really that helpful? Because in marriage, let's face it, there's a lot of things to be frustrated about, right? Like he always leaves the toilet seat up and she takes forever to get to the point. Or, he drops everything for other people. Or she says yes to everyone but you. Or he leaves his stuff laying everywhere. Or she seems impossible to please. Or he's so stubborn. Or she's so controlling. So why gratitude? Well, there's a lot of scientific research on the mental health benefits of gratitude. And I want to share those with you, and you can decide if you think this would be helpful in your marriage. So, one of the first things that gratitude does is it gives us a release of dopamine and serotonin. What does that mean? Well, it means we're going to be a lot more go with the flow. These things that I just listed, all these frustrations, they're not going to be as frustrating when your dopamine and your serotonin is high. Gratitude, it regulates the mood and our emotions. We feel happier, more content, less stressed out. It reduces our anxiety levels. It improves our sleep, and not only our sleep, but the quality of sleep that we're getting. It boosts our self-esteem. It brings new motivation for us to achieve our goals, and it brings resilience to adversity. What do you think? Do you think those things would help be a counterweight to all the frustrations that we face in marriage? I think so. And I also want to encourage you that another powerful thing is oxytocin, which comes through connection. So we're talking about gratitude, but I want to jump over to connection because they are twins. They go so vitally together. So if you can grow connection, it's going to create the flow of gratitude much more easily. So I want to invite you to a helpful aid that will help you grow connection. You actually can find it in the description underneath this video. You'll find a link to a free guide that is 100 deeper connection prompts and ideas. In it, you're going to get 50 deeper conversation starters and 50 playtime ideas. And this is going to help increase the flow of connection, which increases the flow of gratitude because you're going to get more oxytocin released. All right. So this is going to give you ideas that will take less than 30 minutes. You can do them at home. You don't need a babysitter. And many of them cost you nothing. So make sure you get your copy under this video. It's that first link in the description. Gratitude. It is vital because it grounds us. It grounds us in stability and possibilities. Now, how do you think those would be valuable when you're in the middle of a fight, when you're not getting what you want, right? How important do you think creativity, stability, and possibility can be for you in those scenarios? For me, it was huge. And it actually was the first step that I took to transforming my marriage. Transforming me is where I started. I woke up one day, I was so upset, so frustrated with our marriage. My husband was in an addiction and very depressed, and we were having a very hard time communicating. And I walked through a series of events, and the first thing my heart told me I needed was to start writing sentences of gratitude, starting my day, sitting outside. And that became the very most important step that I had no idea I would need was gratitude. It began to soften my heart. I began to have new creativity. All these benefits that I just shared began to come, and they began to give me the courage to take the next step and the next step and the next step. Now, for me, I was afraid that gratitude would be like kind of shoving things under the rug and kind of a Pollyanna approach to pretending everything was fine. And I want to invite you, if that is you, to know that's not at all what I'm talking about. And that's not at all what gratitude does. Gratitude is not asking you to overlook the grievances, tolerate what you don't want, ignore the warning signs, avoid honest conversations, appease your spouse, become a doormat. No, it is none of those things. What is it? So, what can gratitude look like in marriage? Well, first, you let your gratitudes be your foundation. Like often when I'm upset with my husband about something, I'll start my journaling exercise by writing out what am I grateful for? Well, actually, I start with the upset, like I get it all out, I let it come outside of me so I can see it. Let me think about what I am grateful for. And when I start first by writing out what I'm grateful for, then it makes it much easier to get clear about what's the conversation that I need to have with my spouse. And I can have it from a much more neutral place because I started the foundation of me thinking about the conversation with gratitude. So another way that gratitude looks is when I come into the conversation with my husband, I start expressing what I'm grateful for with him. Now that changes everything because one, I'm setting myself on a foundation of gratitude, but two, I'm inviting him into all the benefits of gratitude because he's hearing my gratitude. So then when I make a request or I express and, would you be open to me sharing with you something that isn't working for me? He's in a much different place because I started with gratitude. So both of our hearts are feeling much more connected. Another way that gratitude in marriage can look is start your day by, sharing with each other the difference that you make for each other, right? Like one of the things my husband do is every night whenever we're here, we do time in the sauna. And in the sauna, one of the conversation starters that we found to be very helpful is the difference you made for me today is. And that is incredible. Like it changes our whole evening. It sets the tone for a whole evening. And we wake up more appreciative of each other. And when you begin to turn that into a ritual, it makes a big difference. Another way it can look is that you use gratitudes to set the tone for your interaction. So one of the things my husband and I do is we have playtimes, and which is a 30-minute date, basically, that each of us lead, where our goal is to lead that to a new level of connection. So one of the ways that we start sometimes is, just what I'm grateful for. Here's what I'm really grateful for with you. And one of the chat times that we do is called Sundown, where we share charcuterie and wine with each other. And when we start by like sharing what we're grateful for each other, it just changes the whole time of interacting. And so I just invite you to consider, could you use a little more gratitude in your marriage? And would you be the one that starts offering it? Maybe these ideas, you can take one of these ideas. Maybe you have different ideas. You can search the internet, like what are ways of expressing gratitude in the marriage? But if you recognize that you want and need more in your marriage, would you be the one that starts sowing it first and watch what begins to come back to you? One of the ways you could start offering gratitude in your marriage is just creating a space for these playtimes and chat times. And remember, you have 100 ideas for those in the description under this video. Just click that link and get your free guide. If you found value in this video, would you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can get the next episode, and share with me in the comments below one thing you're taking away.